had great years where we were league champions and stuff like that. We want to get to that point again, but with understanding our limitations with the sport too, like that happen, which is fine. And then I am aware of that, so I'm always trying to get creative to get more athletes and so on, right? So, but I mean, academically, I mean, Fremont's a good place to go and continue wrestling. I mean, and get introduced to wrestling, and we'll go. But we have a good partnership with community organizations. Beat the Streets Los Angeles has been a great partner with us. They helped us out a lot, and more importantly, they started something that that's phenomenal in the sense of camps for students, where the students go and learn, and they bring like the best of the best, like the Olympics medalists, Olympians, and they come and do clinics. Clinics are like technique clinics, or they'll do a full blown camp, or they'll definitely help out for students to continue to build their wrestling, and that's a great partnership that we have, and the other schools have it too, and that's what's beautiful is that the students that get introduced to wrestling at Fremont High School get exposed to other high schools where they have wrestling, and they make friends, and that's the beauty of the sport is that even though you wrestle at a tournament, you have competitions, you make friends because you spend all day there, especially all your Saturdays, you spend it there, and you just start making friends and you start getting to know people from different areas where other places I don't think you get exposed in that way, for because you're going with Palisades, you're going with San Fernando, with Birmingham, and you spend all day with them. You get to know some of the students. You're like, oh, you befriend them. And right now with social media, like these kids stay connected differently. I mean, that's a phenomenon that's been going on the last few years. That it wasn't like that before. It wasn't like that before. It was you found another way to communicate. It wasn't through social media. Now you can actually keep up and have followers and so on.
Sí, es muy diferente cómo todo ha cambiado y cómo las redes sociales y el programa de Beat the Streets que ha venido y ha brindado esa ayuda a una comunidad así pequeña como Fremont y así de diversa que tienen las escuelas en otros lados, que básicamente es ese apoyo, esa motivación de que hey, todo está bien y que todo puede seguir siguiendo adelante. Y habló de los acampamentos cuando van a acampar y conocen a luchadores que ya son campeones nacionales, campeones olímpicos, y les traen esa otra experiencia. ¿Cuál cree usted, qué cree usted que sería un gran impacto que le trae a la vida de los jóvenes que están siendo parte de ese momento? Porque tal vez a la otra persona que viene del campamento, que viene a enseñar la técnica, tal vez termina siendo un campeón olímpico, termina siendo algo grande. ¿Cómo cree que si usted estuviera en la posición de los jóvenes, cómo cree que usted los vería y los impactara?
Well, what happens is being exposed to like Olympians and so on, or contenders, or people that or Division One, Division Two champions, or All Americans. Again, you can follow them now. You can go and cheer for them and see them compete, and that's the beauty about. I mean, a lot of people didn't know about U.S. Olympics, or a lot of students at Fremont wouldn't know about the Olympics. The girls team, the males team, the Greco team, but we get introduced to it, and then you start going like, oh, I like following him. He's so good. Like, oh, you know what? She's a champion. She's like an Olympic champion, and she's here. Let me take a picture. And what happens is you get exposed to it. That life outside of high school is different. It's gonna be amazing if you continue to wrestle. Or be exposed to it. So that's the beauty of having Beat the Streets kind of mentor us, and so they help us out a lot. And a lot of students get exposed to world champions. So that's the big incentive of like always having community connections, and sometimes even in wrestling, I mean, you might have a rival in your first 2 years, and then your third year, like, man, I keep wrestling, and we're both 2-2. We beat each other. He beats me, and eventually you become friends, and then by the time you get to the state level, you're like cheering for each other. If you guys have helping to be in two different weight classes, as long as you're not in the same mat together, then but you have that, you understand each other, like the friendship that you build through it.